The movie starts with an unknown object moving at high speed like a meteor, then reveals a human brain-like object falling into someone's house with a black spider emerging from it. In the next scene, an elderly woman named Helga, while knitting in her home, hears strange noises coming from the ventilation duct, which prompts her to call a man named Frank, whose job is exterminating pests and spraying houses for toxins. Due to her Alzheimer's, she reads the address off the wall. When Frank arrives at the house, he notices a viscous substance spilled out of the ventilation. As he talks to Helga, she, due to Alzheimer's, fails to understand why Frank has come. But the strange noises in the house suddenly remind her why she called Frank. Frank then enters the house to investigate. He enters a room and discovers blood on the floor. When he looks into the ventilation, he sees a mysteriously killed person. At that moment, something grabs him, and while Helga witnesses the incident, he is taken away by it. And then we see Helga decides to call someone else again for another extermination. The story unfolds 4 days ago when a girl named Charlotte emerges from an air duct and captures a black spider that we saw at the beginning of the movie and places it in a matchbox and leaves. Then a woman named Gunther, who lives with Charlotte's grandmother Helga, notices something breaks the window Charlotte from inside the air duct, witnessing her stepfather Eitan conversing with Gunther and blaming her daughter and asking him to replace the broken window glass. Through various air ducts, we see Charlotte, our adventurous girl, having access to different apartment units. She even has access to Eric's unit, a Korean scientist and adventurer, and watches him. Charlotte then enters her own room through the air duct and places the spider in a relatively large glass as her secret pet and takes care of it. At that moment, Eitan enters and talks to her about the broken window glass issue, while Charlotte hides her spider and tells Eitan that it was not her fault. Later, Charlotte is busy playing with her spider, takes a picture and posts it on her social media networks. Then her mother asks her to take care of her newborn brother while she attends to her chores, which Charlotte is not very happy about. Furthermore, Charlotte catches a cockroach for her spider, throws it inside the glass, and the black spider hunts it down, which amuses Charlotte. Charlotte's mother goes to visit her own mother, Helga, to put her to sleep, but when she was organizing her clothes, she notices Helga's clothes giving off a mothball scent. Eitan is actually a comic character designer and painter trying to establish a good and intimate relationship with Charlotte and be a happy family together. At night, suddenly, the jar where Charlotte holds her black spider opens, and since this spider has strange abilities, it enters the ventilation duct, scaring the Gunther's parrot downstairs. The next day, the parrot is found in a horrific state inside the cage, with its feathers scattered, and killed. They think a venomous creature like a mouse killed it, so they call Frank, who is an expert in this matter, and after preliminary investigations, he can't figure out what creature caused this incident. Frank sprays the entire apartment with pesticide. In the next scene, a mothball tablet is seen next to Charlotte's spider jar, and the spider reacts strongly to this substance, showing fear, moving the glass, almost causing it to fall. Charlotte then realizes that mothballs cause the disappearance and burning of the spider's strange webs. Later, Frank comes to Charlotte's room, and when he sees the spider inside the glass, he stumbles back, afraid of it. Then it is shown that one of the neighbors, Maria, who also had a dog, has a strange headache. She goes to the cabinet to take medicine for her headache, and suddenly the black spider is seen there. Then she sees her family photo frame, and suddenly the spider attacks her from behind the frame, biting her. As she sees herself in the mirror, she gets dizzy, hits her head on the sink while bleeding heavily. The spider enters her mouth, then her body, tearing her stomach and killing her from the inside. Then Charlotte goes to see Eric, and since he had a large aquarium glass, she asks him to give her one. But when Eric examines Charlotte's spider, he discovers something strange about it, as this spider has the ability to mimic sounds. He tells Charlotte that he will give her a free aquarium glass on the condition that she lets him experiment with it. In the next scene, Maria's dog barks inside the air vent, and as soon as Eitan looks inside, he comes out and Eitan gets scared and falls to the ground. Then he takes Maria's dog to Maria's apartment, but when he rings the bell and no one answers, Eitan was the building manager and had a key. However, when he enters, he is faced with a horrifying scene where he finds Maria's body in the bathroom. After the police come and take Maria's body away, Eric suddenly calls Eitan and tells him that they need to talk about an important issue. Continuing, Eric tells Eitan that the spider Charlotte has is a very dangerous creature, and he must get rid of it as it could harm her. After Eitan talks to Charlotte about why she keeps this dangerous creature, she suddenly goes to see Eric and talk to him, even though he does not open the door. Then Charlotte returns and tells her stepfather Eitan that he has no right to speak to her like that and that her real father loves her more. However, through Eitan's words, she realizes that her father, despite being close to their home, has never seen her, and her mother, to avoid upsetting her, told her that her father lives in another country, which makes both Charlotte and her mother upset with Eitan. We then see Eric placing the black spider in the aquarium and feeding it meat and other things, and it's growing rapidly. In the next scene, when Eric is asleep, the grown black spider breaks the glass. Then, because it was a sound mimic, it imitates the sound of Gunther's cat and lures her into the air vent, where the black spider ambushes her and takes her away. We then see Gunther taken somewhere while she is still alive, possibly about to be fed the next meal of the black spider. Meanwhile, Charlotte was playing with Maria's dog, and Charlotte's mother was busy on the phone. Then suddenly, when Ethan was adjusting the TV antenna and got nervous, he smashed the TV screen with his hand. They start arguing, and while Charlotte was listening to music, a large black spider moves across the ceiling. At that moment, it suddenly attacks Ethan and then Charlotte's mother without Charlotte realizing, taking them through the ventilation channel while she had her headphones and was listening to music. Charlotte then notices that her parents are missing, starts to panic and cry, realizing that the spider she liked is a terrifying monster. She even realizes that her little brother has been taken as well. She hears her stepfather's cries through the ventilation. She then takes action, creating a deadly weapon against the black spider using water and naphthalene tablets, and enters the ventilation duct. In the meantime, a scene is shown where Gunther and Ethan are entangled in spider webs. The black spider takes Gunther away to devour her. Then Charlotte enters Eric's unit and discovers Eric also entangled in spider webs while still alive. Charlotte then talks to her grandmother Helga, asking her about naphthalene tablets. She immerses them in water and, with a blender, creates more powerful weapon for herself. She gets ready to go to battle against this evil creature and pours some naphthalene water on herself so the spider can't attack her. Then she enters the ventilation duct and finds Ethan. She then poured some naphthalene water on the spider web and saved her stepfather. Just at that moment, suddenly, the black spider from above the air vent channel comes rushing towards them, causing them to fall in fear and end up underground. Suddenly, in one moment, the black spider captures Charlotte, but before it can attack her, Ethan uses a mixture of water and naphthalene to repel the spider, damaging it and making it flee. Then we see Frank, who was previously captured by the spider at the beginning of the movie, going crazy and scared, attacking Ethan. However, suddenly the black spider is spotted emerging from the air vent channel, and Frank, out of fear, shoots everywhere with a weapon, accidentally causing water to come running down from the emergency part of the ceiling like rain. Charlotte tells Ethan that this water will erase the naphthalene effect. At that moment, suddenly, the black spider grabs Frank from behind and, while pushing his head into the air vent, explodes his head, killing him. Later, Ethan tells Charlotte not to worry, that they will find a way to escape together. Then, he finds Charlotte's mother and his little son. They are all surrounded by the black spider and have no escape route. However, Charlotte uses a large wooden board to fend off the spider's attack. Still, then Ethan finds a way and connects the elevator to the power, even though he gets a minor electric shock. At the same time, in one moment, Charlotte pushes the electric elevator button downwards, causing it to collapse under the spider before it can attack them, and it dies. After being shocked by the electricity, Eitan loses consciousness but comes back to life with CPR, and they are happy, hugging each other, having been freed from the spider. In the end, a scene of a spider egg hatching implies that the threat of the black spider still exists, especially as Helga hears a strange noise again, indicating that the curse of the spider is still alive, and the movie ends.